I absolutely love this Bruce Lee quote. The successful warrior is an average man or woman with laser-like focus. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett both believed that the most successful people have one thing in common, and that is the skill to focus. Focus is the easiest thing we lose in today's attention deficit era. Let me ask you a question. How many of you set goals for the day and are really focused on achieving them? Any show of hands? One person. Oh, quite a few. That's good. That's good. One more right there. Fantastic. We often don't take control of our day. Without focus, all of our practical, professional, and life skills are futile. They are simply incapable of generating any useful results that we want. The good news is that developing focus is a skill and can be learned. The first step is usually the hardest, and that's about making a start. We are not living in isolation. We are actually a product of our environments. When I say environments, I'm not talking about our natural habitat. It's everything and everybody that we come in contact with on a daily basis. Our physical environment includes our homes, our chairs, our beds, our laptops, our mobiles, our cars. The networks that we belong to is another environment. Our relationships with people, our bodies, our spiritual environment, the connection that we have with a higher power. And lastly, our inner self, our internal representation, our self-talk, and our beliefs. A recent study at the University of California showed that it took people almost 25 minutes to get back to what they were doing after a seemingly harmless interruption from one of these environments. Imagine this, one WhatsApp ping on your phone and 25 minutes gone. Another Instagram post or like that you do, another 25 minutes gone. The ability to master focus and to stay focused comes from our level of awareness of these environments and whether we let them to empower us or make us obsolete. So what do I mean by that? There are three levels of awareness of our environments: knowing, doing, and being. Knowing is the lowest level of awareness of our environments, but still the awareness is there, and it is simply knowing that you're not focused on the right things. When you get to the doing level of awareness, that's the next rung on the ladder, you start to incorporate small changes that move your focus in the right direction. All of us here set New Year resolutions, right? But only a few manage to get past beyond the 15th of January. It's because we are using our willpower while we set these resolutions. And that's short-term. It cannot sustain the pull of our environments. When you're in the doing level, your changes are simply not long-term. Finally, when you get to this highest level, that's being, you are the one who's prioritizing your life. You are the master of your focus. That's when you start shifting some of your environments or even completely replacing them. An example here would be that you get rid or you let go of some of your friends because they're constant gossip mongers or energy vampires. Each one of us here is on one of these three levels of awareness. There are no exceptions. The question is, how do you get to this highest level of awareness of our environments and be a master of your focus? The answer is the 3S model. Imagine this 3S model to be like a fidget spinner. We all know what a fidget spinner is, right? Like a fidget spinner, the 3S model is a generative cycle. As you set it into motion with your best spin, it pulls you up to your glory. I'm going to talk about one idea in each of these three S's. The first S, sort, is all about unlearning, and it's about decluttering. It's giving up on people and things that don't matter. The bottom line is that you cannot hold on to everybody and everything. And as you let go, you lay the very foundation that's crucial to your focus. How many of you start your day by checking your emails? Anybody? I'm sure I'm going to get a lot more hands here. Yeah, a lot many. And how many of you are constantly plugged in to your inboxes every now and then? More hands? Yeah? Yeah. So everyone who just nodded or raised your hands are in the 80% of the population that spends a lot of time checking emails. As a matter of fact, an average person spends almost 33% of his or her time checking and responding to emails. How do you keep yourself out of your inbox? The answer is the 555 inbox rule. I personally get a lot of emails every day. Work-related emails, emails from LinkedIn requesting a recommendation for somebody, emails from friends, and even those "I can help you" emails. When I look back, one of the things that I really felt good about was emails. I used to respond to all of my emails within 2 to 5 minutes. I was always plugged into my inbox. And it felt good because I was responding to someone's priorities, and they would acknowledge it instantly. The problem was, I wasn't getting any major work done for myself. Every time a new email would come in, I would stop to read it and respond to it. This distraction was costing me a lot. I had to reclaim the amount of time I had my mind in my inbox. On any given day, I see around 60 new emails hankering for my attention. So what do? When I log into my inbox, I apply this 555 inbox rule. 5 is what I figured out is what typically needs my attention and response for the day. Just 5 emails out of 60. I apply a requires response label to these 5 emails. These are the 5 emails that I need to tackle before the end of my day. That's it. For the remaining 55 emails, what I do is I apply a technique called delete, delegate, and defer. It's very simple. What I essentially do is I delete those emails because most of them are junk. Or I delegate them to someone who's more appropriate to respond to them. I don't have to respond to all of those emails. Or I simply defer them for a later action, not today. 555 is what I call it. It could be your 329 or your 835 inbox rule. It doesn't matter. Coming to the second S, straighten. This one's about straightening out your day and getting your priorities and activities in order. One of the most crucial routines I want you to establish in your day is to practice affirmations. We all have this self-talk that's going on inside of us at all times. And most often, it's negative. Things like, that's not possible, I can't do it, I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough. Simply put, affirmations are a way to prime your brain for clarity, which sets your day in order. Remember, what you focus on expands. I am the greatest. I said that even before I knew I was. I figured if I said it enough, I would convince the world that I was the greatest. Muhammad Ali. That is the power of affirmations, ladies and gentlemen. One of my favorite ones to start with is, today is a fantastic day. I feel great and energized. Another one is, today is going to be full of opportunities and positive experiences. The third S, sustain, is all about having code today so that you don't have to pay the long-term cost of regret. Without a life code, it's like a fast car that's running low on petrol. It will break down. Imagine your life code to be like a wheel. Like a wheel, it has a central hub and 4 spokes. The central hub is your code, and the 4 spokes represent the 4 elements which reinforces this code. Having a system of ethics. This is your charter of right and wrong, your personal value philosophy. Think of your life to be like a train. Like a train, it runs on what? Tracks. In a rail network, you have millions of tracks constantly intersecting and overlapping and crossing over. How would you know when to stay on track and when to change? Creating a habit-oriented mindset. Last year, when I was writing my book, The Winning You, I met with a road accident and I fractured my right ankle. I was in a leg cast for 10 weeks. This could have easily derailed my writing process. The accident happened in June and I published my book in August. That is the impact good habits can have on you. Developing circles of influence. We are all creatures of reciprocity. We give and we take. But with whom we associate with determines how they influence our lives. So develop clear and concentric circles of influence to nurture these relationships that you have with yourself, your family, your mentors, your coaches, and your close friends. Taking 100% personal responsibility. What happens when something starts to go wrong? Do you immediately start externalizing the blame? I'm sure we've all experienced getting low marks in our exams at some point of time. And when that happens, what do? We either blame it on the out-of-syllabus questions, Or we might blame it on the examiner who graded our paper. You might even blame it on the professors who taught us the subject in the first place, right? If nothing comes to mind, we would even put it out on the weather for our poor marks. As humans, it's pretty easy for us to point outwards. But developing a life code is all about taking 100% responsibility for everything that you do and for everything that you don't do. It's recognizing that you are the author of your story. The bottom line is, it's your life. It's your code. You cannot outsource this to anybody. Start owning it today. I'd like to end with this Robin Sharma quote, which says, "Stop managing your time. Start managing your focus." Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for focusing on focus.